Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk all about citrus, well, more specifically about lemons. So I grew up in Florida where we basically lived on citrus, grapefruit, oranges, and lemons, and that's kind of carried over to my adulthood. I could have a lemon dessert every day of the year. I could have a lemon dish. It's my favorite thing. I wanted to show you how easy it is to create two really simple kind of one-pot meals using lemon. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to do a one-pot lemon pasta with kale as well as some shrimp scampi. So I've got a big pot of boiling water. To that, I'm going to add in probably a half a pound of spaghetti or whatever kind of your favorite noodle is. And we're going to cook that just according to the packaging instructions. So I think it usually takes 8 or 9 minutes. And while that happens, let's go ahead and juice some lemons. So I have this big bowl of lemons. Today I'm just going to use a regular plain old Eureka lemon, but I wanted to show you some other varieties I got with Meyer lemons would also work. And then I got these really cool, I think they're called pink zebras or pink lemonade or something at the farmer's market. And I wanted to show you what the insides look like. Can you see that they're this beautiful light pink? So I'm going to save these more for kind of garnish on another dish or maybe even a cocktail. But I just wanted to show you how cool they are inside. That is such a gorgeous color pink. But today for these two dishes, we're just going to use regular old lemons. So we're going to squeeze some lemons and make sure to get all the pits and seeds out. So I mentioned in the last week's video that I was pregnant and I've had all sorts of weird pregnancy cravings. But my #1 pregnancy craving has been citrus, mostly oranges and tangerines and mandarins. I just can't get enough of them. It is so strange. So my spaghetti is cooked to al dente. I'm going to save a little bit of the pasta water. It's really important because that's going to help make this really great lemony sauce for the pasta. And then I'm just going to pull out the pasta. So if you're making this at home, you can make it in one pan. Just drain out the water and then make everything back in this pan. But since we're videoing it, I want it to be pretty for you. So I'm going to bring in a new pan. So I've got my pasta cooked. Now let's make this pan sauce. It's kind of amazing what just this trifecta of garlic, shallots, and lemon juice will do. So we're going to do those three things and add in a little chicken stock to make this really luscious pan sauce to go around our pasta. So first up, let's add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And then we're going to add 2 cloves of garlic. And then 1 large shallot or 2 small shallots. We're just going to cook that for about 30 seconds. Add in a little pinch of salt. Some red pepper flakes, depending on how hot you want it. And just cook. There is something about the smell of garlic and shallot and a little olive oil. It is the best smell in the world. So let's deglaze the pan with about a half a cup of chicken stock. You could also use white wine, but I just had chicken stock in the fridge. Either one works. And then we're going to add in about 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice. Put that over medium and just let it cook down until reduced by maybe half. It'll probably take 5 minutes to reduce. Okay, so my pan sauce is almost ready. So when we say reduce the sauce, it basically just means to concentrate those flavors, which is what is happening in this pan sauce. So it's reduced by half. And then to that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. The butter is just going to add a little bit of rich creaminess to it. If you don't want to use butter, you could do something like an olive oil too. And then melt this together. Then we're going to add a pinch of salt. And then we're going to add in about a handful of kale, or you could do spinach or any kind of leafy green that will wilt easily. Or you could skip this part if you don't want any greens in there. I just like it for a little extra texture. And then after that wilts, we're going to add in the pasta. We're ready to eat. So let's add all of the pasta back in there and just give it a good toss to make sure it's all combined with that pan sauce. And so when we saved that pasta water from earlier, if there wasn't enough pan sauce or if it kind of over-reduced, we could add in that pasta water to make more of a sauce for this. But I think we're good to go with this one. Okay, so my pasta is covered. One last final thing, just a big sprinkle of Parmesan cheese. So there is the one-pot pasta with lemon and kale. Super easy. Can be made in one pot if you just use the same pot that you cooked the pasta in to make it clean up that much easier. My next lemon dish is gonna be even easier with a shrimp scampi. So next, let's do the shrimp scampi. So we're gonna start by the same thing that we did with that one pot pasta, adding in a little olive oil into a pan. And then it starts with that same thing, shallots, garlic, and lemon. 1 large shallot or 2 small shallots and 2 cloves of garlic. So let's cook down the shallot and garlic for like 30 seconds, just until that shallot is translucent. Next, we're gonna add in the shrimp. So today I'm using peeled, deveined, but tail on shrimp. You don't have to use the tail in there. I just think it looks a little prettier. And also just double check where the shrimp come from. I know there's some controversies lately about where shrimp comes from. So today I'm using sustainably farmed shrimp. If you have a seafood monger, just double check and ask them. So 1 pound of shrimp straight into this pan. And we're gonna cook for like 2 or 3 minutes, just until that shrimp is cooked through. So shrimp is one of my favorite things to cook just because it cooks so quickly. It only takes a couple of minutes for this to be like really cooked through. Just give it like a big stir, and we're gonna cook it until the shrimp are kind of opaque and pink and firm. So my shrimp are cooked through. We're just gonna carefully remove them from the pan and put them in a bowl just for a second. And then we're gonna deglaze that pan with about a half a cup of chicken stock, or you could use white wine to get like all of those flavors off of the bottom of the pan, and a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Let's just cook this for maybe 1 or 2 minutes until it's reduced slightly. Okay, to that sauce, we're gonna add a big pinch of salt, some red pepper flakes, and then 2 tablespoons of butter. Like the one pot pasta, olive oil would work too if you don't want to use butter. So we're going to return all those shrimp back to the sauce. So just give them a toss. And that delicious sauce. And then we're going to add in a couple slices of lemon just for garnish, and then chop up some parsley for a little more garnish. So there you have it. There's a second dish on my kind of I Love Lemon video, this shrimp scampi. It comes together in like 5 to 10 minutes, super easy. It's also really healthy. If you wanted to serve it with something else besides just the shrimp and the sauce, you could do it over pasta, you could do it over like kind of rice or quinoa, or just get like a big loaf of crusty French bread to dip in that delicious pan sauce when you eat it. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure to hit subscribe as I upload new recipe videos each week.